I am thrilled to introduce today's opening keynote. During this AHEAD talk, IAOP's global partner, Avasant, will unlock the new era for human creativity and innovation. Please welcome renowned thought leader and speaker, Kevin Parikh, Chairman and CEO of Avasant.
Thank you, Debbie. It's my pleasure to be with you at OWS 21 and to see you again. Sadly, we can't all be in person this year, but I still believe that it's coming and we are going to getting through this challenge before us. And the technology that's coming is going to make our experience even better. Today, I hope to talk to you about what's coming in 2030 and beyond. It's the rise of the imagination age. It's the unlocking of a new era of human creativity and innovation. The digital age signals the onset of a new era of human creativity and innovation. This is what we call the imagination age. And I want to put it in context so that I can give you a glimpse into what is really coming. Some of you may remember my presentation from previous years. The concept of digital singularity, which is what we've been experiencing to date, takes these technology prerequisites of cybersecurity, cloud, IoT, AI, brings them together in a converged way so that we can experience something better, so that we can enjoy that digital experience. The idea of digital singularity is the point where technology omnipresence meets the human experience. And so it's brought tremendous opportunity for us. It's allowed us to get through this pandemic and still remain connected. But what's coming next? What is the next age of human evolution and relationship with technology? Well, I would like to go back in time first to paint to you where we've come from, to help us see where we're going. And you think back to the machine age. This is pre-Y2K, an age of wires and physical connections, telephones. Machines were physical. We needed them. We needed to interact with them physically in order to be able to get communication to happen, in order to be able to write letters, in order to be able to produce and generate goods and services. The information age, for the first time, connected us to the world. It laid the foundation for what we have today to communicate, and it began to erode on borders. Now we could take work to India or Mexico or China. We could do so in real time, virtually. We would communicate mostly by email, also by audio. But we were able to pass documents instantly in the information age. This foundation led to digital singularity, the digital age. And this is, again, the point where tech omnipresence and the human experience converge. For the first time, we experienced transboundary working styles, working truly in a global community, bringing that technology, those technology prerequisites of cloud and cybersecurity that I mentioned previously, together to drive a new human experience. Of course, in digital singularity, we have also remained connected to our devices. The physical tech is still very real. So what's the imagination age? What are we going to see? We're going to see the devices disappear. They'll be embedded in the walls around us, in the airports that we travel, in the cars that we're in, maybe even in the watches that we wear. But the concept of a real physical device will become smaller. The tech will become invisible and still omnipresent and shared, which means it doesn't matter where we go. Others may be on those same networks. They may be working with us in a shared capacity. We'll be bringing all of our documents and work product with us. The borders will be truly eliminated in this new world because it won't matter where we're working. And we'll work with new 5G networks and satellite technology and better compression. which means that we can introduce technologies like holograms and get a stronger feeling of being together. The imagination age unlocks our senses, all 5 of them. So when we communicate with each other, we're communicating as people, not communicating the way we've communicated in the past over a device. What are the elements of this imagination age? Let's talk a little bit about them. So first of all, no physical workplaces. It won't matter where we are, but yet we will feel like we're together. We're going to see more time with people and not machines. Imagine that for our children. Imagine a world where they can communicate freely and aren't judged by amount of time they're spending on a device. Unified and always connected. We can expect that. We will always be connected. Some may not like that, but this new world, that will be a requirement. It will be something we choose to do. Of course, we'll have to manage privacy and regulations that will control and protect our human data, our information. But it still will be something we choose to do. There'll be no visible technology in this new world. It won't be any devices, and there'll be total freedom of thought. Imagine shifting the effort that we have today, the amount of time that we have today, that we put into email and writing notes to direct communication with human beings. It's almost like going back in time, isn't it? A time where that type of technology was not there. And if you think about the roughly 10,000 years that many estimate human beings have been in communities and socializing, only a very small fraction of it has been with email and technology that we take it for granted today on a telephone. So I think we're going to go back. And this new imagination age will allow us to get there. Let's take some real examples that'll help us understand this. I love this picture in the top left because I remember working that way on whiteboards, as many of you do. It was very interactive. It was very physical. Workplaces were physical. We met together. We talked together. Borders were extreme. We couldn't communicate with people very well in this model. We needed to be in actual workplaces. Well, the information age in the bottom left corner, you can see, brought technology to help speed that communication and working. It allowed us to bring colleagues, if not by email, by a phone, and we were able to work in a more integrated way. And more recently, as we've introduced video conferencing technologies in our workplace, it's allowed us to work anywhere. And again, further put pressure on the borders, both physical borders and country and nation state borders. So today, we see ourselves working in a virtual way. But tomorrow, in the imagination age, we can be together again, if not physically, certainly through hologram or through technologies that enable a richer and stronger human relationship. And that's where we're going. Consider $700 billion saved through remote working. Increase in productivity by 5 million human years just in the US. That's what we're seeing. That's the trajectory we're on. We're on that trajectory. Why wouldn't we want that? Do we really care about our devices so much? Would we even know how to work in that world again? Well, think about this picture. This is really interesting. You can see the machine age and the physical vehicle with all the dials and gauges. We have to pay attention. We have to be 100% occupied on driving. And of course, global positioning systems in the information age, as you see in the bottom left corner, helped us get through that driving experience to the point where we are today, where we're experimenting with self-driving. But what happens in the imagination age when that's completely behind us and the technology is behind us and the act of driving is behind us? And now, where are we? We're in a totally immersive experience with all our documents and information ready for us, and we're communicating with people. 70 billion hours are spent annually by Americans behind the wheel. Imagine if we could get that time back. What would we do with that time? I think about a time where I didn't have a cell phone and I was growing up. I couldn't communicate with my parents if I got lost, or if I needed a ride, or if I got late. So we've lived this way before. We've lived with all of this time and we figured it out. Now we will be without devices and we'll be connected. Imagine that, not being a slave to our devices. Unified and always connected communications. Well, again, we remember what it was like to be on a PSTN or a copper line. We know cell phones, we use them today. The information age brought us that technology. And of course, now we're enjoying video-based communication. But what happens when that is all gone? And now we're communicating in hologram. The technology's there. It's going to happen because over 100% increase in global wireless connectivity is expected by 2025, 100%. And it's enabled by massive IoT and 5G investments, massive. And it's only getting better. Look at that. I remember learning about the switchboard. This is a picture from a 1920s switchboard, right? And when most of you may not even know, when a call was made, you would say, pick up the phone, and there'd be dial tone. You'd say, operator, please connect me. And this operator would manually connect a person to their destination for voice call over copper wire. Well, the information age brought us many devices to make that easier. And today we're also enjoying virtual reality. But tomorrow, imagine just walking down the street, being connected. Hello, how are you? Your friend appears next to you. You're talking, communicating in a very real way, working in a very real way, not on paper, dreaming in a very real way. That's the imagination age. And it's going to happen because of the significant investments being made in technology, infrastructure, and backbone. When I think about the opportunities in front of us, it excites me. I think about what we will do to solve the grand challenges. Consider the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We haven't been able to achieve them. We have been separated from each other. We have found that the borders between us have made it impossible for nation states and peoples to be connected. The imagination age will allow better collaboration between countries, nations, and people. In the future, it may be that you are a virtual citizen of the United States or of another country, even if you're living somewhere else. Can you imagine virtual citizenship? The opportunities for the imagination age are boundless. And as we learn to dream in this new model, as we learn to create in this new model, we'll find that we have more times for ourselves. One of the things that I think about often is the interconnectedness of the global economy and how that will change in this new age. You see, today we rely on physical currency. We still do. We rely on nation states to manage our currency and to manage trade. What happens in the future in a totally borderless environment? This is going to be interesting. And we will be able to take advantage of new technologies. Today, we see the US dollar as a digital currency. We see Bitcoin as a digital currency. Elon Musk recently announced that you can buy a Tesla with a simple digital Bitcoin transaction. Now, you don't even have to go to a dealership. It just arrives at your car, at your house, and you pay by Bitcoin, some type of global currency. So it's interesting where the world is taking us and how we'll use these technologies in the future. Consider also conflict between nations. How will that change as nations seek to take advantage of local citizens? Who's a local citizen? Who pays taxes? I live in another country. I'm a citizen of another country, but I work in the US virtually as a virtual citizen. Do I pay taxes here? So these are the questions that are going to be rising in the 2030 time period as we move to this new era of the imagination age. But I remain very optimistic. You see, I believe that we'll not only overcome those problems, but we'll regain our humanity. The imagination age will be a period for sustained human innovation. We will have total freedom to envision new thoughts and dream and create. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the OWS sessions.